Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to Trafford Talk. We're still on the Euro 2020 prediction train. Obviously, me and Robbie have been covering a lot of the group games and stuff over the last week or so, but it's kind of culminating today in like an overall tournament predictor. We're all going to try and basically agree on what we think is going to happen, which is going to be interesting. I'm very happy to be joined by Robbie, but also Ahmed's joined us as well, which I'm very, very pleased about. We've got a brain on European football in here as well. And yeah, I mean, are you ready, guys? Let's just get going with it,
Yeah,
let's do this. Good Lord.
I have got the aim of controlling, what goes on into this, but I'm going to try and take a bit of Ahmed and Alexei views into, consideration. But at the end of the day, I do have the mouse, so...
We are pretty much praying that he does not put Scotland all the way into the final. So if he does, please heavily hit the dislike button if he does so. No, we should be good here. Let's get on.
All right, guys. So Group A, who are we going for first? So it's Italy, Wales, Turkey, or Switzerland.
Right. So I'll go first. For me, I just think that Italy, they're unbeaten in so many games at the moment. They've not conceded a goal in the last 10 games. I think Italy need to be top.
I can't disagree with that. I can't disagree with that. Roberto Mancini's side have been fantastic since they missed out on the last World Cup. They played well in the Nations League for a little while, but since then they've become a much better side. The quality of Barella, goals from Immobile, they've got that experience at the back. It's a marked improvement from the team that missed out on Russia a few years back. So I can't disagree with them being top of this group.
Go for it, Alexei. What do you think?
Well, Robbie, do you remember the other week we did a prediction in this group and I said Turkey would come top?
Yeah.
I still think that's possible, but I do think I was a bit ignorant about Italy because I've looked into them even more since then, and they just have so many good players. And while I might still argue for Turkey, because we've got to compromise, I will happily compromise that we put Italy top of this group.
Yeah, it feels so strange that the game is just tomorrow as well. The 8 o'clock kickoff. Alexei, we were going to, show off our fantasy teams, give some tips, possibly tomorrow. I'd love. Obviously, I have had a sneak peek at your team, but I'm still making changes to mine. So I can tell you something. I'm putting a lot of Italian players in my team. So moving on. I'll start off this one as well for Group A. I'm going to go with Switzerland as my second choice. Because Switzerland are just always dark horses. They remind me of your Denmarks, kind of those teams who are always so successful in the sense they're always, they always make knockout rounds. They always really put a shift in. Switzerland have a great defence, which Turkey and Wales don't really have. So you're going elsewhere and you're thinking...
They have a good defence.
Well, who, sorry?
Turkey.
They, on paper, yes, but they do concede quite a lot of goals. Even in their victories, they usually do concede. So, because of that, I would personally go with Switzerland second. So, yeah, what do you guys think? I'm going to imagine that you would disagree with me on this, but...
Well, I think we know what I think, because I've just said I thought Turkey could win the group. So, Ahmed, we'll go to you. We'll do it democratically.
Wow.
You've got the deciding vote here.
Okay, so... I have massive respect historically for Turkey because of how well they did at Euro 2008, and this was so unlucky against Germany. They've not been very fortunate at the last 4 competitions that they've been trying to qualify for. They've fallen short. It fell short in 2010. They couldn't build on 2008. 2012, they weren't in that either, and in the last 3 competitions. So. For me, Turkey have got a big reputation at home for doing well as underdogs and have a really good team. They've built quite the squad, losing only 3 of their last 20 or so games. Their manager's an unknown in the European continent, but I think he has the minerals with this side right now ahead of tomorrow's game against Italy. They're going to give the Italians a hard game tomorrow night, and I cannot stress enough how important it is for you to observe how Turkey defend tomorrow, but also how good they are on the counter-attack. Three of their players in that team have won Ligue 1 this season. Yilmaz, Yazici, and Shelik, the right back, who they all played a part in a high-pressing, intense team that's similar in style to the national team. They understand what to do there. So Italy will be very good, guaranteed, but Turkey will give them a game. I can't disagree with Switzerland though, because they cannot be overlooked.
What?
I can. Here's why. Okay, here's why.
You're joking.
At the last World Cup, Switzerland. Okay, they put on some really good performances in the group stage. They trounced Serbia, for example. They gave Brazil a hard time. And it's the game against Brazil for me that sort of fills me with some optimism about Switzerland. And I promise it's not because I have friends from Switzerland in my Twitter feed and they'll kill me if I don't say it finish second. But it's more the fact that they do have good talent. Xherdan Shaqiri is an excellent player. They have young stars like Gavranovic and there's a couple of under-21 stars coming through.
Who's scoring the goals, Ahmed?
Who's scoring the goals? Well, they have Haris Seferovic of Benfica, who has been on and off in recent seasons, but can be a focal point in an attack. And give him the chances. If he's feeling confident, he will score the goals. It's a different experience with some of these players as well. I do think, though, if Turkey's, let's say, not language, I'm going to say like consistency to sticking to the same system will continue during the tournament, teams will find ways to beat them. And if they're going to consistently press high and, stress teams out, most teams that are able to prepare for that sort of scenario may be just that bit better than them. I think for their experience, second place at least, but Turkey probably will be one of the best third.
Yeah, I'll go for third. Personally...
Oh, that's kind of you. Thanks.
Personally, I actually don't think... in this group, they're all very even. Second to fourth are very, very kind of... I feel as if Wales will pick up points. I think Switzerland will pick up points, and also Turkey. So for me, because of that, I wouldn't put a team as best third. I think possibly in Group C, this could happen where, Ukraine, the Netherlands, and Austria pick up points. So that'll put one of these three through as best third. Whereas in this group, 3 points won't get you through unless you get a positive goal difference. That's happened in the last Euros as well. So I do believe that no one will actually get through as best third in this group. I think this will be one of the...
Something I can't overlook either is form heading into these matches. Switzerland have won 6 in a row before today, before Saturday's game. There were 6 games in a row. With Turkey, their form is a bit different. Heading into this one, they didn't play Northern Ireland in this week because the game was postponed. But in their last 6, they have won 4 and drawn 2. The one they did win, the key 2 they won were against Erling Haaland and his Norway side, and a 4-2 victory against Holland in the World Cup qualifying. So, yes, I have them as underdogs, and I think they will do well as one of the best third-place sides. But I just think Switzerland's form heading into this tournament and their overall squad will probably just edge on this occasion the Turkish the underdog status of the Turkish team.
Right, so who are we going
to jump in? We've got a couple of comments from Connor. Firstly, he's complimenting our haircuts. Connor, that is very, very kind of you, my friend. Secondly, though, he's saying, is everyone overlooking Wales? They've got a decent starting 11.
Well, what I was going to say, Alexei, was, Wales topped the group in the last European Championships.
Included England as well.
How can we put them fourth?
I just think there's too many championship players and a lack of overall international experience.
You can put Wales above Switzerland.
If Switzerland are that bad, then maybe we should. No. But no, I think
honestly, I don't get this Switzerland thing.
Alexei.
Huh?
What team are we taking at third place?
Well, I wanted Turkey top, then I wanted Turkey second. And now, am I even going to get Turkey third?
We need to
get Turkey third, I think.
Right, okay.
I think I've got it, yeah. Honestly, this is crazy. This is just madness. All right,
Welsh friends, we're so sorry, but it's not that we don't have faith in the national team there. It's just the fact that having looked at the caliber of the squads against what you're setting up against, this won't be as easy as it seems to look this time around. You had a great run 5 years ago, but this time might just be a challenge too far.
Right.
And anyone from Turkey who's watching, I did try and talk them around.
I've been to your wonderful country. I'm sorry. I just think this time around you'll scrape third at best. I think Switzerland might just be a little bit too good.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll move on to Group B. So Group B is Belgium, Denmark, Russia, and Finland. I don't know how long. Do we need to spend that long on who we think is going to come first, really?
No.
No, not really.
Quick fire, Robbie. Who do you think is going to come first?
I'm putting them in myself.
Yeah.
There you go.
Come on.
Yeah. Okay.
No,
right.
Do we have to discuss it?
Lukaku will be up there, one of the top goal scorers. They've got class all round, even if De Bruyne is injured. I think that's literally everything we need to say.
I think we just need to see Eden Hazard at this tournament. Is he going to be a different player to the one who has been frail and injured for Real Madrid this time around? There's a few unsung heroes, like there's Jeremy Doku coming through from Rennes. He's someone to look out for as a possible young star in this tournament. But the old heads again, the golden generation they have right now, they're the number one in the world. Really, they should be one of the favourites to win this tournament.
Just a quick stat before we move on. I mean, they've scored 27 goals in the last 10 games. Obviously, I know it has been against, terrible teams, but you can only beat what's in front of you in the Euros and the qualifiers. So, doing the job, and I think we'll get the job done in this because they do prove that they can beat teams that are, no disrespect to the other three teams, that are worse than them on paper and, class throughout. But for second, I would go with Denmark. They've got a very stable team. Like I could literally pick their 11 players who's going to start. I think Russia kind of clocked off since the last World Cup, so I'd have them in third. But yeah, I think it's one of those things where Denmark will get through. They do have quite a decent strike force as well. Braithwaite's finding a wee bit of form too. Christian Eriksen will be their talisman. And they've obviously got their defenders like Simon Kjaer and they've got Schmeichel in goal, so they do have a good team overall. But I think they do still fall short of first place for me.
There's a few. It's not just them. You're well overlooking a couple here. Kia played against us in the Europa League this season. They have a Champions League winner in their team now, Andreas Christensen for Chelsea. Joachim Andersen played well for Fulham in the Premier League this season, getting a lot of interest from clubs in our league. Yannick Vestergaard's in there too. Moving into midfield, Christian Delay, Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, Matthias Jensen of Brentford, Joachim Mæhle of Atalanta, Eriksson, obviously. Up front, Martin Braithwaite, who's been trusted somehow to be Barcelona's lead man this season. I think this team is pretty much the best that the Danes could pick from. And it could be better, but yeah, for what it's worth, I think they should be much better than Finland and Russia, in my opinion.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think when you look at Denmark's team, it's actually really solid all round. And yeah, I mean, they even might give Belgium a bit of a run for their money. I think Belgium will definitely win the group, but I think it will be Belgium and Denmark and quite a big gap below to the other teams. But we'll move on to third place. We'll start with you again, Robbie. Who's coming third?
Yeah, I think Russia will finish third, and I think it'll be one of the best thirds too, because Teemu Pukki is also, unlikely to start in the first game for Finland. He picked up a knock, and he's really one of their only good players. It's a shame saying that, and they've done very well to get to this stage, but I think they'll be like hardly any points, to be honest. And maybe Russia could pick up points elsewhere against Denmark, possibly Belgium. Belgium could possibly rest in the last game. So yeah, I'd have in Russia as best third in there, and Finland, unfortunately, just to that's as far as they'll go in the group stage, and they'll come fourth for me.
Yeah, I can't disagree with that. Yeah, as you said, Robbie, Teemu Pukki is really their main man. Lucas Fedetsky, the goalkeeper, he's also good. Glenn Kamara, who, as we all know, this year had a hard time on the pitch after the Slavia Prague incident, but in terms of his football ability, he's definitely one of those I'd look out for in that team. But yeah, I think with Russia, this is their last tournament before their ban kicks in. for the next 2 competitions. So really, they're going to want to perform. But
I can't believe they're allowed to play.
I think it was too late. I think it was too late for them when the case came through for them not to be allowed to play this tournament. They already qualified, and it would have been one of those Yugoslavia-Denmark scenarios of Euro 92 again if we had to deal with that. But yes, don't me, but yeah. Finland and Russia for me,
yeah. I mean, obviously, I can jump ahead now because you guys have said the third. I'm in agreement. Russia will finish third, and then obviously, by default, that means Finland will finish fourth. And I think, to be honest, I think that wraps up that group really. Because obviously we have.
Do you think that they'll be best third place?
Oh,
I think they will.
You sure about that?
Yeah, because I think they pick up points.
Because they're going to lose to Denmark and Belgium. So no.
Right, okay. We'll cross that bridge whenever we come to it, I suppose.
Yeah.
Can we want the Group C, Alexei?
Yeah, so Group C is Holland, Austria, Ukraine, and first entrant, I believe, North Macedonia.
Yes, it is.
Ahmed, you can start off this time. Who do you think's coming first?
Well, it's very, very simple, isn't it? While I think they've been very, very difficult to watch in the last few years, and, they've chopped and changed between Koeman and De Boer, realistically, this is their best opportunity, I think, at winning a tournament. They did the Nations League. Unfortunately, they did look good against England, but didn't turn up against Portugal in the final, which is a big litmus test as to how they'll treat Euro 2020. This time around, though, they've got a good squad. They will obviously miss Van Dijk. They'll miss Donny van der Beek as well. They're clearly going to be there's a lot of angry fans about how De Boer's fluctuating the system over there. But in terms of the teams that they've been drawn against, I think they've been blessed here. So they can count themselves lucky to win this group unless something dramatic happens here. So I'll be shocked if anything, but they're the best team in the group. So realistically, I don't see anyone else finishing first other than the Dutch.
Yeah, I could imagine them going out, in the last 16, possibly, because I don't think De Boer's a good manager, and he hasn't been good whenever he's went, and he's wanting to now all of a sudden change the system to a 5 at the back. The players have come out and said, look, we don't want to do this, which is crazy. Like, you've never really seen anything like that happen for a while, especially in international football. However, I do think they've got a touch of class in their team. They've got Memphis Depay, Gini Wijnaldum, who plays in a more advanced role, Matthijs de Ligt, De Vries as well. They do have a good team. So for me, I would go with the Netherlands and first spot as well.
Yeah. I agree. I think this could be a close one. I think Austria are going to really push them, but I think Netherlands will be first.
Really? Do you not think that Ukraine will be?
No. Austria have a really decent squad.
They qualified well. Yeah, they did qualify well. Did Ukraine beat Portugal to secure their place in this competition?
Well,
I don't want to rule out Austria.
Second, because they've also got a good team too. They've got Malinovsky, who has been, turning it up in the Serie A for Atlanta this year. He's got good goal contributions for his country also. They've got Yarmolenko, they've got Miramchuk, who's been, performing in Belgium too. And they've also got, Zinchenko, who, he could really play anywhere. I think he'll play in midfield, but he'll probably be their talisman in this tournament alongside Malinovsky. So for me, I would go with Ukraine second and Austria third. Just, not much in it, as I say. However, I do think Ukraine will beat them to that second spot.
Okay, I think so. That's probably the most pertinent thing we can do here, because having watched Austria against England, they don't look really like a side that is all that connected at the moment. Maybe when the tournament starts, they'll start to learn more about each other and what their strengths are and what they can utilize their advantage against other positions. But yeah, I can't look past Robbie's point that they did qualify very well from a difficult group in their qualifying rounds. So if they play half the way they did under Shevchenko, they have a chance of getting through from this group. So yeah, second for me is Ukraine.
Okay, so second Ukraine, third, who are we saying?
I mean, if Robbie does put Ukraine second, we'll be able to progress to third. That would be nice. Let's say, listen, I wish I could be controversial. I want so bad first-time teams to do well at competitions. With the Wales thing after 4 or 5 years ago, I'd love to see North Macedonia upset the odds and take that third spot. I really would. It'd be like laughing. We'd be laughing at Ustanak for a long time. But you can't look past Austria finishing third, really, can you? Vidan Kominovsky thinks that they should finish third. Do you know what? I have hope they'll do well in this Euros. I really do. There's not much people know about them, but this is obviously their first tournament. They changed their name, I think, just a couple years ago from the former Yugoslav Republic to North Macedonia now. And they have beaten Germany in 2021. So there is hope for them. I think there's hope for them to do well in this competition. And I have faith that if they do play well, and like when I say well, if they at least beat Austria, the Dutch and the Ukraine will also probably beat Austria. If they finish third, they have a chance. I think there's an opportunity for them there. They have experience in Goran Pandev. There's a few players that are, scattered around Europe. Ristotti playing in the Europa League run for Zagreb last time round. Elmas of Napoli, Enis Bardi as well of Levante. You're looking at Pandev really to try and save them. Vidan also says, if you could bring it up, Alexei, Macedonia can make one good result and it will be versus Austria. There you go. I think I've got faith with them. I think they'll have a go at Alioski as well of Leeds. I forgot about him. I have faith in this team to pull off something very special against Austria and then hope for a little bit of luck against those bigger sides. For those bigger sides. So maybe I'm going to be controversial. North Macedonia to finish third.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm going with Austria third.
Lack of faith, of course.
It's unfortunate, but they do have a good chance. If out of any group, this is a group that they could possibly make it through in. However, I just don't think they've got the class. They're relying on Goran Pandev, who's in his late 30s now. It's just kind of behind the power curve. And I think they'll finish, dead bottom. However, I'd love an upset, but I can see Austria finishing third. Alexei, anything you can disagree with there?
I think Austria will finish third and Macedonia will finish fourth.
I'm sorry for that. I tried.
Alexei, if you want to start off,
Oh, bloody hell.
Well, here we are, ladies and gentlemen. This is where the arguments will finally begin. All right. How seriously do we take this?
So, right, I hope England come second in the tournament, but I think they'll come first.
Alexei, can I be honest with you? I'd rather us draw against a team that finishes in the next group to us rather than win the group and play the third worst team in the group of death. I kid you not.
Yeah, I know.
We cannot afford
We're done if we play one of them.
Yes.
That would be great. My fingers
Scotland, for Scotland.
England finish top. They'll get second in that group. So that's France, Germany, Portugal. And if we finish third, we're all the way up here. And we're doing, in this group, give me this group for best up.
That's fair.
Well, it's because what happens is the winners of Group F winners will meet the third worst team in our group. And second place in their group will meet the winners of England's group. So, we kind of...
I'm sure we get someone from the group next to us. We do. I think it must be... finishing second, we get the best team from Group F. It's sort of like one of those webby things you have to do to work out where each team goes. But whatchamacallit? I think genuinely we need to win this group just for morale. But my heart says we should avoid playing France, Germany, and Portugal. I do not want.
we had this exact same situation at the 2018 World Cup, didn't we? Where
yes, we
it
did.
was the last day against Belgium, and we all kind of sat there and went, we should just throw this because we don't want to win the group. Because then we had a clear path to the semi-final because obviously we played Colombia and Sweden to get to the
playing
semi-final.
Croatia, yes.
Whereas Belgium's run was absolutely horrendous. So yeah, and I'm not being funny, but if we have to play, we've got no chance against France or Portugal. I don't think at all. No chance. No.
Right. Okay. So, Alexei, give me who you think will finish first and second then, because I think Croatia will be in about there too.
Yeah. Croatia are too good. I just think maybe they'll get their points. No offense, Robbie. They'll get their points against the Czechs and the Scots. It's against England that I think will be the one that I feel they'll have to get something out of that game. And they'll remember the Nations League game from back when we beat them 2-1. So if we can play a half like the way we did against them then in this game, and they pick up their wins in the other two, I think they'll win this group. England may struggle against Scotland.
Right. So, okay, I'm going to go England first. Ahmed, what are you saying?
England second for me. I don't want us to play against the big ones.
Croatia first, yeah.
Yeah, Croatia first.
I'm going England first. I think they'll just, I think they will beat Croatia.
Oh my God, Robbie, you're going to like this. Connor Roberts in the comments has said Scotland will top the group.
You look at it, it would be quite good, right? But then it also wouldn't. But, we'd still have a party about it. I wouldn't stop. I've also got my kilt here as well that I'm wearing.
Love it.
Oh, wow.
It's actually quite nice.
Tell me quite the kilt.
Tell me I'm wrong. £50. Decent price. I'll be wearing that down to London. I can't wait.
He's one excited boy.
Scotland have a party even if we lose. And the thing is, we are the third. In bookies, we're literally the third team from the bottom. The highest odds.
Yeah.
So we're complete underdogs. We've got absolutely nothing to lose. Czech Republic are actually ahead of us. I think it'll be Croatia then Scotland. I can't imagine us
really
falling short against the Czechs.
I don't think the Czechs are all that, to be honest with you. Yeah. I don't think the Czechs are all that, to be honest. They've got a few decent players. Personally, in my honest opinion, they'll probably will after beating England and ending on defeating England's English is not my first language. After beating England's unbeaten run in the qualifying rounds, they used to have a 20-something match unbeaten run before losing in Prague. There was a sign then, if they built that form up and continue to, start playing more seriously, that they could be a threat. But they're not in the best of form, in my honest opinion.
One of the other issues as well that we need to take into consideration is Scotland and England have the home advantages.
We both play at home, yes.
I feel as if for Wembley, Scotland versus England, there's actually still Scottish fans in the stadium as well.
Yes, there are a lot of you. I'm not going to mince meat here. I'm not going to lie. There's apparently going to be the best part of 15 to 20,000 at Wembley. At least, and I've been told reliably, a good 16 to 17% will be Scottish. So we're not necessarily going to be all English in that stadium.
And you're going to have a
strong representation from the Tartan Army on the day we play against them. I can guarantee that. So,
okay,
yeah.
So I would go with Croatia second. I think this will be the last proper tournament, the last go for it. And then it'll be
Asian squad and all that. Yeah.
Okay, should we? Because obviously we've got so much to get through. So we're going Croatia, Scotland.
I've been overruled, so yes, I have to go with Croatia second.
Okay. So next group.
So Group E contains Poland, Spain, Sweden, and Slovakia. Now this is a very interesting group. Ahmed, I'll come to you first this time. Who is winning Group E?
Spain are in trouble. This team is not the best. We have to look at it frankly as the team that you want to play bingo for, right? The one thing I'm concerned about with the Spanish team is predominantly that they're incapable of having a similar unit. They're not the same team, obviously, to 10 years ago when they dominated world football as easy as it is to cut bread. They were so good back then. But as obviously players have retired or age has started to get to them, their performances in tournaments have started to get worse and worse and worse. And I think for a nation that expects highly of their national team, this will yet again be a very difficult competition for them. With taking into account as well, they have not got a good number of decent players. They've taken the risk as well of leaving Sergio Ramos out as Luis Enrique. So if I'm putting my hat on this, they're not the worst team. They have just drafted in Aymeric Laporte from the French side of God knows how he decided to do that. I do think they'll make it through the group as group winners, but they won't make it half easy for themselves in the knockout phase for me. So they don't have good luck in the last couple of competitions.
So you're going first, Ahmed, for
Spain.
Alexei,
Spain.
on to you, mate.
I want to be controversial, but I think I'll get overruled.
Please bring it out.
I think Poland could win this group. I don't like this Spain team very much. Mm-hmm. Obviously, I mean, Robbie, do you remember we spoke about it last week? We were saying they've got a lot of good technical players, but I don't know, it just doesn't feel the same as it kind of used to. I think it all depends on what kind of happens up front, obviously. I think if Gerard Moreno plays, I think they'll probably win the group. But if not, I don't know. And obviously, it's difficult because there's all this. We don't know what's going on with their COVID outbreaks and stuff. And I think
they have tested negative actually, so they're just about back together.
See if Spain were in one of the other groups, possibly Group B, Group A, definitely, and Group C. I wouldn't favourite them at all. I wouldn't even put them in second, probably. But because, Sweden, Slovakia and Poland, obviously Poland have Lewandowski. Sweden, kind of falling off a bit. Good unit, though. And then Slovakia, I mean, I think I would still go with Spain at top. However, I do completely understand what you're saying. I think Gerard Moreno, is one of their best players. He needs to start. If not, then they'll be in trouble. So I'm going to go with Spain. I would go with Poland at second. I think we're kind of debating between those two teams, so can we both agree on that one?
Yeah.
100%.
I think Poland needs to really improve on 2018, so this is their best chance.
And then do we go with Sweden for third? I mean, I think Slovakia.
Can't rule it out, really, can we? I think they're miles better than Slovakia. So, Slovakia will come to try and put up a fight and give it a go. Really, there's no hope for them, in my opinion, to get out of the group.
So our order for Group E is Spain, Poland, Sweden, Slovakia. I mean, I don't think it would surprise any of us really if Poland and Spain did switch around. I think that's very possible, but
definitely.
We will settle on that. I mean, this is here we go. Right, Group F.
Have we got a pitchforks ready?
Portugal, France.
So can we all agree Hungary and bottom?
Yes. I'm sorry, Sanal. I have friends who are Hungarian. Please don't kill me when I see you this weekend. I promise you. I love the fact they have a very good team and they've improved dramatically since the last Euro World Cup. But I think this again, with the caliber of the teams are in that group, we can't see them finishing anywhere higher than the bottom.
I mean,
and they're at home as well. That's so sad.
They've full crowds. However, I just can't imagine them. Picking up many points. I think if they pick up 1 point though, the team who drops points to them
will go out.
So I mean, for me, right, I'll start you guys off. I would go with France top, Germany second, Portugal third. I mean, I've said in the previous podcast why I would put Portugal at third. I don't think they've got a good enough midfield compared to the other teams. They've got an amazing midfield. However, I think Germany and France just have, strength and depth, and it will just, overrun Portugal. So I think I'm going to go with that. And I think France will go far in the tournament. So, Alexei, on to you, mate. What do you think about these three teams?
I mean, we've had this conversation before, but I strongly disagree on Portugal coming third. I mean, they've won 2 tournaments in the last 5 years, and their team is better than it was now. And they've got, I know it's obvious, but they've got players like Cristiano Ronaldo and Bruno Fernandes and Bernardo Silva and João Felix and Neves and Sanchez and Diaz and Cancelo. I mean, if you're making a World 11, some of them would be in there. They've got a manager that's got a really harmonious way of dealing with the team. They're a really strong unit. He's been the manager for a long time. They're used to winning before. When you look at Germany, they've been pretty terrible for about 3 years now. Their manager's basically a lame duck in this tournament because he's going anyway. They've lost 6-0 to Spain recently, Germany. They lost to North Macedonia. And even though, I don't get me wrong, their players are brilliant, this new generation of Germany players, but there's no actual evidence yet to suggest that this group of Germany players can actually play together. They've been absolutely dreadful. And yeah, I just think Portugal, for me, it's them or France winning the whole tournament. I mean, they've got such a good team and a really good manager. And these players are used to winning, the mentality of these players, and that will get them over the line in certain games, I think. I can't see Portugal so-called bottling a game. Whereas Germany, they're going into this tournament with so many doubts. The manager's going, after what happened in 2018 at the World Cup, they were terrible. They lost South Korea and Sweden, I believe. And then you're coming into this with more doubt from losing 6-0 and losing to North Macedonia and Werner not scoring and all this. And I could easily be wrong, but I really strongly believe that the third place team in this group would be Germany. Ahmed, you have the deciding vote on this.
I mean, Alexei, we've been talking about this for the last few days, disagreeing. I want Portugal to advance, by the way, over Germany, but, personally, I just do believe Germany will have it. And it does come down to midfield. Obviously, I know Portugal have a fantastic team. They've got fantastic players. I hope Bruno has a great tournament too. But yeah, I think, players like Müller, Goretzka will just turn up. They'll just grab the tournament and take their team through.
Okay.
Ahmed,
this is wonderful. How about being put under pressure to pick from 3 of the best teams in world football to go through in a group of death? So I have analysed each of them individually, and this is my honest opinion. The Germans, for me, must always be feared at a tournament, no matter what, because they tend to have a surprise factor. Even when they are seen as favourites, they tend to surprise you. So, like in 2018, I rooted for them to win the World Cup, to defend the title. I didn't expect them to get eliminated in the group stages in the way that they did. It stunned me, and it was, I'm sure, everyone else, and a great day for all Englishmen around the world. So, in all essence, right, we could beat them in the last 16, and that's something I'm not prepared again to deal with. What's worse is it'll be at Wembley again, so we're going to have flashbacks to Euro 96 again and all that jazz. I just think, though, this current Germany side, Jogi Löw would just love to leave on this particular part of his career on a high. He would love to bring them another trophy and then hand it over to Hansi Flick with with the potential that they can still improve on the current copper players they have. France are the world champions. Undisputedly, they are the best team in the world. Despite Belgium being world number 1, France are the best team in the world. They have the absurd amount of depth. And genuinely, Deschamps prepares this team frivolously to succeed, to win, only to win, never to come second, never to come third. The only reason I cannot see France winning this tournament is if the likes of Belgium, Holland, and England do better than them. Of Portugal and France and Germany being in this group, it does make it just that little bit more compressed in terms of who's going to become one of the favourites out of this group. I do feel, though, if France win this group, they'll win the competition because they're playing against 2 very difficult sides. So if France win this group, they win the competition. When it comes to the defending champions, Portugal, Look, I love Bruno Fernandes too much to go against him, and I hate to draw his wrath, especially after what he just done to Israel last night. That for me fills me with the most optimism about Portugal. They did it before, and they'll do it again. So France to win the group, because they simply, if they win it, they win the tournament. Portugal to finish second. Germany don't have a competent enough defense. They had to bring Max Hummels back in to help solidify that defense. I'm sure, even though he's there, that's still not going to completely solve their problems. They have much deeper rooted issues in that team that will manifest itself. At best, if they finish third, as we've put them here, if they do finish third, they will come up as one of the best third place teams. But as I say, France win the competition. It's because they won a very difficult group.
Okay, so are we in agreement for all of these teams, all the positions that are coming in? Any last minute changes we want to make?
Unless Alexei wants to plead his case for Turkey again.
Honestly, that's the one that's really bothering me. It is bothering me.
I can now redeem myself down here, because now we can move on to...
Right, I'm having Turkey here, please. 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 Surely.
I'll give you my rationale behind the fact...
Okay. Deep breath, everyone.
Because...
No.
Look at their group, Alexei.
Oh.
See their bottom. See, like, every team in that group. I think it will either be first. I think it will just be first and second that will get through, because Wales, Turkey, Switzerland, they'll pick up points against each other, and I think that will be the issue. I don't think they'll get enough wins. I don't think it will happen.
This is harsh.
Can you understand?
This is harsh,
my thought process behind it.
No. This is mental. I thought they would win the group, and we're now saying they're not even going to get through.
Alexei, mate, I promise. I appreciate every. I appreciate.
Are you joking?
All right,
Are you actually joking?
Hold on. I'm gonna give them some hope. Okay, I'm gonna give them some hope. Robbie is being very very rash here. I understand why though. I'm gonna give Turkey some hope because, right, as I've said, they're going to be a very difficult team to beat. If they do come out of the group first or second, then it's a wonderful achievement. And honestly, they are never to be overlooked as underdogs. When they are given that tag, they relish it. So, if in this scenario, we're looking at them we've already decided on top two, but in this scenario, I cannot overlook them as one of the best third teams. Only because there will be, who we've picked, there's going to be two that are worse than the four that qualify for the last 16. So, I think they're just good enough for third place. While they could have, there is potential to win the group, and if they do, I won't be surprised at all because they've proved me wrong. But Turkey is one of the best teams. That cannot be overlooked.
Thank you.
You see, I told you it's all right now.
The next team that I'm going to say is Scotland, and I'm not just saying that because I'm Scottish. I'm saying that because Czech Republic, I don't think will pick up enough points.
Yeah.
And I think possibly even looking at these teams, possibly 3 points will be enough.
Well, you've got to hope 3 points is enough, though, isn't it, for Scotland? Because I'm not being funny, but obviously this presumes that you'll then get something against Croatia or England, which you may well do, don't get me wrong, but obviously with Scotland, we're presuming to the Czech Republic game as a win. And I think for you to progress into this, I suspect you might have to get a point against Croatia or England, which, I mean, you probably think is possible, don't you, Robbie? Like, do you think?
You know what I think? I think we've got, this sounds really bad, I don't think we've got the best team in the world, obviously. But see the passion that we've actually got and, the build-up that we've actually got for this tournament, I think we've got that over every other team.
Mm-hmm.
Not one Scotland fan, not one Scottish person was angry at the squad selection, was angry at, the choices during the international break there. Before that, we were high hopes. We thought we were going to beat Serbia anyway. I don't know why it can stop. I don't know how it can stop here. And I think, Bobby said this as well. You need to take it with a pinch of salt. Scotland versus England, because it is a derby.
Mm-hmm.
Last game we played,
and it's a Euro again.
Last time we played, it was 2-2, and we had a much worse. Our team was terrible, like absolutely terrible. And
you rose to the occasion though that day, so that's
what I'm saying. And I also do fancy to pick up a point, maybe somewhere, because we do have home advantage in 2 games as well. So can we all agree on Scotland to go in as best third play?
Yeah, I have hope for you, because your head-to-head against the Czech Republic is very good. So you should pick up points against them. It
also seems that what I've read is that if you come third, and if you have a goal difference of 0 or above, you're very likely to get through. It's the teams with 3 points, but then a negative goal difference really struggle to actually get through as best third.
Yeah.
So now if you can put past two past Czech Republic, or pick up a point elsewhere, it's doable. And we are Scotland, so we'll not give up.
Hampden Park will rock, I think, when the players turn up on Monday, and it will be fantastic.
Yeah, I think it will.
It'll be fantastic. So
in that case, obviously Scotland are in third. It's interesting, Robbie. You picked up on the goal difference thing. For that reason, you would probably suspect Germany will get best third from simply Hungary. Do you think?
It's just Russia.
Do you not believe that Hungary will be like the kind of, sounds bad, but everyone will get their goal difference up through that? Because
it's harsh, isn't it? Yeah, they're at home as well, which is the sad part, because
I think one of the teams will go through on 3 points in that group. Personally, I thought it would have been Portugal. However, obviously we've got Germany here, so I don't think we really talk about it anymore. I think we'll score a few into Hungary. Szoboszlai obviously isn't playing; he's ruled out, which is an absolute shame for them. He's their best player. So Ahmed, can we agree on Germany?
Yeah, sorry, Hungary. I love you guys, but it is probably
going to be out of these 3 teams then. Who are you going with?
Russia, Austria, and Sweden. Russia definitely the worst out of those 3, just on the fact that they won't have as much luck in terms of who's around them, in terms of third place teams. Around them, they'll have to score a fair few goals. I don't think they're going to get that many against Belgium or Denmark. Unless they absolutely trounce Finland, I really can't see it. The Finns may turn up for that game, but as we just said, negative goal difference plays a part. So Russia for me is a no-no. So it's Austria and Sweden. Austria, I think.
Definitely, I would have put through Russia and Austria, because Russia do have Finland to play. Yeah. And Turkey have obviously got Wales to play and Switzerland, so I think that would be a much harder game. So for me, I would have went with Russia, Austria, Scotland, Germany. But
the thing that Russia have is that they have this core that know each other. A lot of their players are all in the same league, and that's good. You can actually learn a lot about each individual and each player. You have the same data, you have the same knowledge about them. I personally think, though, that Sweden will want to they want to improve on that quarter-final appearance in the World Cup 3 years ago. There's some hope for them there, and they can really build on that. If there's so much talent as well, they're just developing great players time and time again. Even some of the current stalwarts of that team are somewhat at their best. Obviously, we can't talk enough about Vincent Lindelof, but no, they are probably for me just good enough to finish third. But yeah, my final decision is Austria. Austria needs this tournament badly. I think they need this tournament. Yeah. If they cannot prove now with the caliber of players that they have, there's a very strong squad. They don't have the unity that I think is needed to get through a tournament like this, but they will just be good enough with the group that they have to overhaul Sweden. So, yeah, it will be Austria.
Yeah, agreed. But,
that really gives me confidence. See, looking at that, like the teams that we're up against is best up. That gives me confidence.
Yeah, you can see what I mean now. It's like you got to consider every single thing. And yeah, again, like I said, Sweden and Russia, they have decent players. I have a core unit. Russia, Sweden have the talent, but not really. I think this might just be Austria's best chance at something. So, look what we've set up, everybody.
On to the last 16. So the first one I can see there is Belgium, Germany. I mean, I'll just go first, then we'll just go in a sequence again. We'll just alternate every now and then. I can't look past Belgium for this. I just think they've just got so much more than Germany have. I mean, if you look at it on paper, you could maybe say Germany's team is kind of close, but like I said earlier, I just don't think there's any evidence to say this Germany team can play together at all. And this Belgium team, it's a bit like what Ahmed was saying about Austria. This Belgium team really needs to do something now because obviously Lukaku, Hazard, De Bruyne, these kind of players. I mean, even beyond them though, you've got Tielemans as well. Like you've got really exciting players. It's one of those teams where you can just think for ages about players that you've forgotten that can go in. So for me, I'm going to go with Belgium. Robbie, what do you think?
Well, this would be Portugal for me. So, I mean, I probably went with Germany still because I think Germany have just got, they've got something about them. They've just got that kind of ice. And I don't think Belgium have that. I think whenever Belgium come up against a half-decent team, they'd really, really struggle. I can't really say much more than that. Obviously, it's not. It probably won't actually work out this way. However, I would go with Germany if I had to, and I think they'd probably cash out and maybe the next round. It's just it's hard. It's really hard because if Belgium do finish top, they're in for a tough time if they do end up in this group for the round of 16. But I think I'll stick with Germany for this one.
So, okay, right, Ahmed, once again, it's like on X Factor, isn't it? You've got the deciding vote. Louis Walsh, have gone with
it's actually very good because Alexei, obviously it's going to be me and you that are going to be on this today. How would we have worked that one out if...
Mate, we'd be sat here all day arguing.
Yeah, I think you're lucky I've come to sort of give you some zen and some sort of clarity of what life is when you have an extra hand or two to help you out.
You are our Simon Cowell, Ahmed. So I've gone with Belgium. Robbie's gone with Germany. Ahmed, what are you going for?
First of all, thankfully, I don't have as much Botox as him, so that's a wonderful start. The second thing is Belgium, I think, are very good. The Germans, as I have said, must not be overlooked at any tournament because they will turn up. In a game like this, though, with the nature of of tournament pressure and because it's a one-off, if this was in the Nations League, for example, you would learn a lot about your opposition because you play them twice. But on this occasion, if it goes to penalties, Germany win. We know that. Guaranteed. No debate about it. And I'm not saying that for cliche. That's just how I feel. So if they hold out the Germans for the Belgians long enough, they will win that shootout. If it's over 90 minutes, Belgium will win this. And I think that's where my heart lies. If Belgium treat this game like they treat most of the qualifying matches up to this point, they will definitely... And in fact, they're in the Nations League finals already. So this could be a big year for them. And I think they'll want to start off in the best way possible by beating as many big scouts all the way. So like a hard challenge. And for me, while I think Germany will give them a hard time, La Belgique. La Belgique into the quarterfinals.
Right. So Belgium are through to the quarterfinals. Next up,
I really don't fancy Germany, do you? Like at all?
I just think there's so much wrong with Germany from the last World Cup. If they are, like I've said though, you never rule them out, but there's so much wrong with them. And ultimately, they host the next European Championship anyway. So they'll have a big, a massive talent haul in the next 3 years. Someone huge may come out of their talent pool. But in this particular time, there's still a lot of those players from that last World Cup still in this team. And a lot of players who could have been in this side have decided not to play or have retired since the last World Cup. Maybe, yes, things will be different, but I think with the current state of play, how the group they've been given and the route to the final they could have, it won't be as easy. Unless they beat England, that's the only guarantee I have for them in the last 16. Unless they beat England, they won't get past the last 16 this time. So, yeah, that's me tempering my expectation after the mistake I made 3 years ago. So, yeah, there you go.
Okay, so basically, me and Ahmed are going to look silly if Germany win the Euros. That's what we're concluding from this.
Very, very true.
I mean, I'm going to look silly if they even make it out.
I will wear a Germany shirt. That's why my promise is I'll wear a German shirt if they win it. And I don't like the idea, but it's going to happen.
I'll wear a Germany shirt on here if they finish above Portugal and get
through. No.
Huh?
Just your top, just your Germany top, nothing else.
No, we're just going to wear a German kit, and we're not going to go that extreme now, Robbie. First of all, we have a few. Some of our dignity must be retained, but
socks as well. You need to buy the.
German shirts if they make it. If they win the final, for Alexei if they finish above Portugal. Okay, shall we move on before we make this any worse?
Yeah, we're digging ourselves a hole here, aren't we, Ahmed?
I know.
So, next up, Italy, Ukraine. I personally, I think Italy are going through. I think I underestimated a bit when I looked through last week. They've got really good players in every area of the pitch. They've got a blend of younger players coming through along with the more experienced guys. They've got a really good manager in Mancini. It's Italy, isn't it, guys? Have you got any disagreements?
Nah. Ukraine might just have this one. Might not have this as easy as
they'll be happy to get to this round. I think that'll go with quite a few of the teams that are at that stage. So, Alexei, on to the next team.
Oh, God. It's Turkey again.
We've given Turkey a chance. Remember this. We gave them a chance, and this is what they get. So, you've only got to draw up against the world champions.
You could argue Yilmaz did beat Mbappe to the French league title, didn't he? So.
That will play on some of their minds, though, as well. That will play on some of the PSG representatives on the French team. So, you never know. Yeah. I think they have pulled up trees against France before, Turkey, in the recent years. I think it was a draw against them, 1-1 draw, back in 2019. If they play like that against France, they may have an opportunity. They're like Ireland, basically. Ireland against France in Euro 2016. Ireland took the lead in that game, but Greece would score 2 goals late on to win them the match. But Ireland gave them a hard game. They didn't make it easy for France. If they treat... Yeah.
Sorry, I was just going to say, if that isn't them finishing dead bottom instead of Wales. So I would definitely go for them.
Yeah, but I mean, realistically, we are saying
below Wales.
I think Wales have got the experience going into it, yeah.
No.
I mean, that would have.
What experience, Robbie? Soyuncu was just won a FA Cup, right? About 3 weeks ago. Some of the players in the Turkish team have just won
all Euro.
Huh?
They just don't. Nah.
You really are not giving them a chance here, are you? This is harsh.
His manager is in court currently. They don't even have a manager.
The Senol Gunar's the manager now. Fatih Terim left after 2019 to serve these court matters. But even still, this side are they have a chance. As I said, if they play half as well as they did in the game against France the last time they met, in Paris, by the way, different circumstances now being a Euro, they're not going to play in France. But if they play half as good then as they did then they have a chance. But
so we need to move on. We need to move on. But nearly
my final thing I'm going to say on this, I think it will be France, but I think Turkey are going to give it a really, really good go. And
let's say we'll take it to penalties. Okay, let's say we'll go to penalties. Yeah. At least respectable hold them out.
Right, Croatia.
Oh dear,
Croatia for me. I think the experience. They've got the kind of overall experience. Made it to the World Cup final. I think they'll make it. They get pretty much the same team as last time. Yes, Poland have Lewandowski. However, Croatia do have a great attack force as well. and I mean the defence is better than Poland's. So for me, I would definitely go with Croatia.
I'm giving Poland a chance here just because Lewandowski is in such a mood. Yes, it's not the Bundesliga, it's not Bayern. I think, though, Poland have pulled up trees this year. Even though they haven't played all that well, they've pulled up trees in the Nations League and have played okay in their World Cup qualifying. We all feared Lewandowski would be a problem, but he didn't play against England. Even without him, they can play good football. I'm giving Poland a chance. Ultimately, Croatia will be favourites to win this. It's a bit like the Denmark game for the 2018 here, but I think, yes, again, it'll be Croatia. Poland will push them, though. They will push them.
Yeah.
And it won't be easy.
This is probably going to be the closest, I think, maybe out of all of these knockout games. Yeah. This is the one that's hardest to call. But I think we are, as a democratic majority, all three of us, we are going with Croatia. Now, Spain-Austria is an interesting one. While I actually think Austria are a bit better than I think you guys think, I still think Spain will beat Austria, to be honest.
Yeah. I hate saying that.
I think that too. I don't think we need to dive, further in. Austria, they're a good team, but we've obviously seen them against England. Spain, again, they're just, they don't have much experience. However, they're just Spain. You can't rule them out. Just like Germany, you can't really rule them out. They're obviously past their peak glory years. However, I would definitely still go with them. Have that touch of class just to make it in the quarterfinals.
Cool.
So we can move on.
Spain. Spain. Because Spain. What really can we talk? Do we need to talk about it?
The next one is England-Portugal. Obviously, this is a replay of the World Cup quarterfinal in 2006, the Euros quarterfinal in 2004. Now, I foresee an incident here where, you could have Luke Shaw maybe stamping on Bruno and Bruno winking at the ref and getting Luke Shaw sent off. We could see a repeat of the Ronaldo Rooney incident. You never know. I like England. Obviously, I would like England to win this tournament more than anything in the world. I think it would be amazing in our home country. I think we've got a great side. I'll put on 3 Lions. I'll go to the pub with my English. Really optimistic. Seemingly, we will get absolutely battered by Portugal. Absolutely battered.
Thank you. Absolutely humiliated. The simple fact of the matter is, our team, as wonderful as it is in attack, and as a very, very good, young and maybe hopefully up and coming midfield, this team is more or less, I hate to say it, clobbered together by Southgate against this campaign side like Portugal, who would have expected better from the World Cup, won the Nations League, are basically the best team Europe has to offer when it comes to success in recent years. I genuinely cannot see England beating Portugal. I hate to say that, but historically, we are terrible against Portugal. So even if we got to the final of the Nations League in 2019, I wouldn't have seen us win that final. So realistically, this again at Wembley as well will be where it ends for me. And sad as it may be, realistically, we just need a bit more luck in the group to get through the tournament again, like we did last time.
You said it, guys, not me. 2 Englishmen said it, so we'll move on.
Robbie, you're being saved by you, but here's your calling card. You're playing against the Dutch again.
That's like. We played amazing.
They're not the same. Think about this. This is not the same team that you played in a friendly just a few weeks ago and drew 2-2 against. In this scenario, this could be the Dutch team at their full at 100% against the Scotland team at 100%.
Well, we had like literally a 50% team as well. We had pretty much all of our key players out for that game, and we drew against the Netherlands. Who did the Netherlands have out?
Was it Sillerson? What was he? Van Dijk? Van der Beek didn't play.
No, Van Dijk's not going to the tournament either. Van der Beek's not going to the tournament either. So, fully strength, the Netherlands team, they were playing against Scotland, and we had a half-fit team. I'm not going. I don't know.
Can I just jump in very quickly? I'll let you carry on, Robbie, because you know more. this Netherlands Scotland game is going to be this year's England Iceland type thing. I genuinely believe Scotland will knock.
No, but see, imagine we get through though, and it's Switzerland. Oh,
yeah.
Then Scotland have a genuine chance at being in the quarterfinals here, simply because Alexei makes a break. I simply believe. I don't think that you can say that too quickly.
Well, I mean, if you look at that and the way it works out, I mean,
Robbie, we're nicing you here. You can see where this is going. We're nicing you here. Basically, if the Scots beat the Dutch and one of Denmark and Switzerland qualify for the quarterfinals, there is a genuine chance you could meet Portugal or Spain in the semi. My gut feeling is though that while I love Scottish people, I love Scotland, I have many friends who are from the north, and the Tartar Army has some wonderful people. The Dutch are desperate, and you cannot stop a desperate Dutch team when they are in a position of, vulnerability as a national football team. They didn't qualify for the last World Cup. They played poorly in the Nations League final. Should have played a whole lot better. They will take this seriously, even though Ronald was not the best manager. And he's certainly tinkering a lot with that team. They may have, even if they don't make out of the group, I'm not saying they won't, but if they don't make out of the group, there'll be a shock there. They should do. But if they do get to this stage, it will be against a much harder team. For this scenario, though, we're going to give you a chance, Robbie. Just this once, the Scots will get through against the Dutch.
Yeah,
just this once.
I completely agree.
So. Honestly.
I would bet 50 quid on this, honestly. If you face Holland, you will knock Holland out. This Holland team is absolutely terrible in terms of the way it's organised by management. And it reminds me so much of... Holland remind me of England in 2016. And you guys...
See, that's one thing about Scotland, though. We see our setup and you'll see us play. Recently, Steve Clarke has literally stayed with one formation. He's went with it. And, the guys who are in and out, it's just, you'll know who starts. It's like 12 or 13 players who are always kind of in and out.
I think your team's good enough. I think your team's good enough to beat Holland. Half your team is able to draw against them. If half your team is good enough to draw against them.
We are missing John McGinn, McTominay, a centre-back, Gallagher. We were missing Grant Hanley as well.
Mm-hmm.
We were missing Ryan Fraser.
Mm-hmm.
That's 4 starters straight away.
If they all start and
John McTominay, I mean, they're literally like a driving forces in the team. Ryan Christie was out as well.
Yeah. Take it like this, right?
Again, you guys said it, so I'll go with it.
I've not lied to you.
We're going to Azerbaijan.
It's a long way from home. If Scotland play half as good, very quickly, if they play half as good as they did against the Dutch, and because he's key, Scott McTominay put in a fabulous performance in the Europa League final, even though we didn't win. He put in a wonderful performance. If he plays like that throughout the tournament, I would not rule out the possibility of him being a huge part in Scotland's progression in the competition. So, Scotland to the quarterfinals.
Scotland getting further
than England.
Yes, and it's because we're having the Portuguese round for tea. That's why we're not going to be able to get ahead of you this time.
It's the luck of the draw for Scotland, as we're about to see. Well, actually, right, Switzerland, Denmark. I mean, it's got to be Denmark for me. As the reasons we outlined earlier, they've just got so much more quality. Can we just universally agree on that?
Don't really dive into too much, detail about that.
Okay, so
unless you're getting very excited now, Robbie. Clearly, we're going to be keeping you. Very
excited. So Belgium, Italy. First of all, I will go with Italy.
Ooh.
I think I just get that kind of nerve. I feel as if whenever they're down, they're getting absolutely battered. I think people like Bonucci, Chiellini will just stand up. They'll stand up and they'll be able to take it. Whereas, I don't know. I just don't think Belgium have got it. And we've seen that.
They have the minerals.
We've seen that in the previous tournaments. No.
Robbie, for the first time today, I'm going to say these words. I agree with you.
Oh, Lord. Oh, my God. I cannot believe this.
I know. I completely agree. I think this Italy team is made of kind of firmer stuff. I think they've got a really good combination of younger players coming through, some of which have won leagues this season with Inter Milan. Obviously, the more experienced guys who are kind of more warrior-based, like Chiellini. You've got players like Verratti, Immobile, Insigne. I can't look past Italy for this.
Oh my God.
Ahmed, you looking shocked by that?
I am stunned. First of all, listen, I've got nothing against the Italians. They have a fantastic pedigree of football and are wonderful to watch recently in particular. For Belgium, though, this would be considered a failure if they fail to get out of the quarterfinals. While I think they should win this game, why the Italians will make it to the semis is, as you have just stated out in the outline there, they will probably want to get out of this game with one, a clean sheet, and they're very good at that. And two, if they score 1 or 2 and the Belgians don't know how to respond, there are a few that tend not to turn up in certain games. We've seen recently exactly how bad it is for Kevin De Bruyne in a big occasion where if he doesn't turn up, it goes tits up for them, for his side. He will be key for them. If the Italians suffocate him, they'll make hay while the sun shines. And look, I'm going to agree, but I am stunned that the Belgians won't get past the quarterfinals. That's basically how I see it.
Yeah.
Well,
Dan's just jumped in here.
Unlucky for you. Me and Alexei have somehow agreed on.
Right. It's a miracle, isn't it?
So France, Croatia, and
France.
Yeah.
Let's back through that one.
They're just so good, you know. Yeah.
Portugal, easy.
I can't believe we're giving them a chance
you'll
here.
agree on this one. Portugal.
Portugal. Fernandes for 40 yards. It will rattle through De Gea's net. We'll start playing out De Gea again before the season starts, everyone. That's simple as that. Now, we've come to the point in the show, everybody, where we have to, kind of take this a little more seriously. We've already stressed England will finish behind Scotland. The Scots have a genuine chance of going the furthest in any tournament that they've ever been. I think the best they've done, if I'm not wrong, was World Cup 78. That's the best they've done in the tournament. The closest they've been to a knockout round. This one, I think, this might be a challenge for me here, Robbie. I'm not going to lie to you.
I mean,
You're losing.
It's just...
You're accepting it.
Oh, see the fact it's in Azerbaijan. Oh,
he's got a point as well. Yes, if you're flying from wherever your first game is, which I assume is in Amsterdam because Holland are the home team, is that right? I believe it's I think it's being played in Baku. Yeah, so they will have to. The game is, I think, 5 days after their last 16 tie. That's what I'm assuming. They have a 2-day period to fly there and then settle in for one before the match itself. It is almost ludicrous that we're going as far as Baku for a quarterfinal of such huge significance, which basically means nobody from Scotland is going to be brave enough to spend the amount of money to go from one part of Europe to another. Take it from Arsenal and Chelsea fans. It's not pretty. But, oh no. To save face.
No, we're not, no. Robbie, who gave this man the power to control this?
Let's put them back, Robbie.
I thought that we could take that off.
We cannot put Scotland in the final.
Right, so Denmark will have too much quality for Scotland.
Oh, sorry,
Denmark
Robbie.
have good management. They're well organised.
I still think they get a good chance. Like
you have a chance. You have a
bet. To me, there's more chance of you beating Holland than Denmark because I think Denmark are a really well organised team.
Yes, they're a very well organised team.
But Denmark have quality in every single position in the pitch.
Yeah. They have good quality.
Okay.
I hate to say it, but
I mean, I would literally take a last 16. So I respect the fact that he's managed to,
more importantly, you finished ahead of England. Just think of it like
worry,
that.
Dan.
I don't really care, mate. Honestly.
Dan in the comments saying, how were we in the position in this prediction where Scotland are potentially into the final for Euros? I have fixed that now, Dan. Don't you worry.
Please remember, Dan, we're taking into account that VAR could screw England against Portugal. So we just need to make sure that is a safe bet before we actually go ahead with the firm prediction. We possibly could be screwed by the almighty system that everyone hates. The Portuguese will get... Bruno loves his penalties, but I feel like Ronaldo will die for one and Bruno will slot it away against England. I just have that feeling. He'll hurt me one summer.
I just keep looking at this and I'm thinking this is definitely the hardest game to predict.
Yeah. I feel like it too. I feel like it is too. The Italians would love it to get to the semi-final.
Final's going to be as well. Oh no.
Well,
we're going to be arguing about that for ages.
We will, but you know what? It's the chance at revenge, but we'll touch on it in a minute. But yeah, I think for the sole fact that they, as I said, if the French won the group with Germany and Portugal in it, they win the tournament because really they're getting not only a much easier run to the final, but on top in terms of, the teams they meet, but also while the Italians are very good and they have that, the experience and the top quality players, generally, I think for France, this is all or nothing. Most of this team are at their peak and this will be their last tournament. So France in the final for me, Italy, harsh as it is, it will be sad to see them go. But I think this for them is a first tournament back after a period out without playing in international football. They have the Nations League as well at home in Italy in the autumn, so they can prepare for that if they don't do well in the Euros. But France in the final.
This will be Italy's, like Ahmed said, Italy's resurgence. I think as a country, it will be their comeback tournament. But we are, I think, Robbie, do you agree? Don't you? We're going with France, aren't we?
I think this will be like, this will go like full weight penalties. But the one, the difference maker is see if Ciro Immobile can bang them in.
Yeah.
I think that's maybe the one thing that Italy might just miss out on. Yes, I'm pretty sure he'll score a few, but will he score in clutch moments? Will he, score in scenarios where Kylian Mbappe will? Karim Benzema? I don't think so, and that is why I'd go with France. Just it's unlucky, and I think it'll have an absolute amazing run. However, I don't think, I just can't see it.
So now, Portugal, Denmark.
If we were in 1992, Alexei, we'd say Denmark. But this is 2021. I think the French would love Portugal just for the sole purpose of the fact that this is a chance at revenge for France. While Denmark at this point, you're just looking at it and thinking they are the surprise package in this tournament. They've stunned everyone at this point.
Is it not Scotland though?
Scotland equally.
Honestly though, I think they would have a chance against Denmark. If you put Denmark in your group over Croatia, I'd have taken Denmark.
If Lyndon Dykes scores the winner against Denmark and sends you to the semi-finals, while it would be a tall order like Wales had against Portugal in 2016, I think it'd be a remarkable achievement. Yeah. It'd be your Belgium it'd be Wales, Belgium, the similar feeling for Scotland if they beat Denmark in that way.
See, Lyndon Dykes probably wouldn't score. He's just a big kind of shit house.
So is it Lawrence Shankland then? Is he the other big name for you up front nowadays?
Whereas he'll shift it to Che Adams and volley it past.
Okay, fair enough. Che Adams then or Southampton. If he scores the winner, we'll go bananas.
Okay, so to round this video off, to Robbie's, I imagine, distaste, we have Portugal in the final, and they will be facing against France. And obviously, this will be a replay of their group stage encounters, and it'll be a replay of the 2016, the 2016 European Championship final. Now, we'll just because it's the final, we'll just say a piece each on this. So, generally, I think if you lose to a team in a final once, you don't let it happen again, which would make me swing towards France. However. I just really think this Portugal side, I really, really think this Portugal side's got something about it. It'd be Cristiano Ronaldo's potentially last international final for Portugal. You've got people like Bruno Fernandes in there. Obviously, France, this isn't me dismissing France in any sense whatsoever. I think France are absolutely brilliant. I can't find many flaws. One flaw I would find is I'm not sure their team unity currently is what Portugal's is, because I've been reading stuff about Giroud and Mbappe falling out because Mbappe isn't passing to Giroud, and Mbappe was going to call a press conference to deny those rumours. There's a lot of layers to this. I'm going to go with Portugal, and the reason I'm going to go with Portugal isn't because I don't like France at all. I think they're brilliant as well. But Portugal have won 2 tournaments in the last 5 years with this manager, and they have such know-how. They have really clutch players in big games. I mean, they have Cristiano Ronaldo, for God's sake. They have Bruno Fernandes. And you've got to remember, Bruno Fernandes and Bernardo Silva and Cancelo and Diaz will all have that fire burning in them from losing their respective European finals a few weeks ago with Manchester United and Manchester City. They'll all have that anger inside them. And I just think when you have a team with Fernandes, Ronaldo, Diaz, Cancelo, with that manager, when it's such an organised group, it's not just like what some people think Southgate is, which is vibes. This Portugal team is so well drilled, so well organised. It's won big tournaments before. So my winner of the 2020 Euros, 2021 Euros.
2020.
2021.
Yeah, whatever year we're in, my winner is Portugal.
Okay.
Ahmed,
Robbie?
we'll go to you next. Okay, Robbie.
Ahmed, you go.
Me? Okay. Because he's got the deciding pick, hasn't he? All right, France, Portugal. If there's an excuse for France for revenge after 2016, the best revenge, first of all, was to win the World Cup and shove it in Portugal's face. The second thing, though, was how disappointing their first Nations League campaign was. Portugal wins the Nations League and sort of says, we still have one up on you after beating you in your backyard. I'm sure it still hurts the shop now. If we got to this point, it still hurts the shop now, knowing that he had the chance to win with France at home again, and he failed to achieve that. Hence, obviously, the renaissance they've just been on. Portugal's side is, at times, it can be one of the best in the world, undisputedly. You have to look into it as that this Euros, we wouldn't have said this if it happened last year, but to think that this Euros is basically the first litmus test before a Winter World Cup in about 18 months from now, the winner of this tour will probably have the better motivation to go out and win the World Cup in Qatar. And my gut feeling tells me one of these two sides, when we then bring in the other anomalies around the world in that period, one of those two sides in this final will go on to go far in the World Cup in 2022. So, you look at Brazil, Argentina then, and the other nations. Around that time, we'll see how things pan out. But in this period, I will, for whatever it's worth, Portugal have a good team. They're probably the better side equipped to win the tournament. France, as I said, if they win the group that they beat, they have in Germany and Portugal, they'll win the tournament. And I stand by that comment. So ultimately, it won't be as as tight a final as the one in 2016 was. Different personnel this time. Well, and Portugal have had some great success. This time around, I think for the betterment of football and soccer, because karma works in that way, France need this just as badly as anyone. So, yeah, my pick to win this final and to win the Euros is France.
Robbie, thoughts?
So, they've obviously both got amazing teams. And I've obviously had a while to think about it because I've heard both of you go through, basically dissect both teams. And the one thing that stands out for me is, the key players in the Portuguese side at the moment have pretty much bottled everything, apart from their respective league in Manchester City. Obviously, they've lost their finals. And Ronaldo didn't even get to one. I'm not saying that is a be all and end all of them winning. But Kante won the Champions League. He was the best player, and I think Kante will be the difference maker. I think Kante will literally he'll be the anchor in midfield. He'll let Pogba play. And I've said this from day one, Portugal don't have an amazing midfield compared to Italy's midfield, compared to, even further back. No, I was going to say Spain. Their midfield is terrible as well, actually.
Yeah.
France's midfield, anyway, I think is just superior. And I think we've just got a lot more like kind of strength and depth. Even if there is any injuries along the way, I think France will deal with it and go against that by drafting an absolute wonder player in the respected position. So, Alexei, I'm going to disagree with you for the final time. I'm pretty sure you've seen this coming, and I'm going to go with France as the winners of Euro 2020. I just think
there it is.
And as you said, Ahmed, I do believe that France will have that desire, the hunger to go and overcome, the challenges that they had to face. Basically, the challenges that they had to face during, the last Euros, which they failed to win to Portugal.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there you have it. So our Trafford Talk winner of the Euros is France.
Yeah. But most importantly, we've given Scotland the leg up over England. So that's going to be Robbie's bargaining chip for many years. He'll be satisfied with that. Is his little victory.
Obviously, when the Euros is over, we will revisit this and see how wrong we were.
Oh my God.
I am
prepared to be wrong.
I am so convinced you guys are going to be wrong about Turkey. So convinced. No,
Alexei, like I said, I'm giving them a chance. We've said that they have an opportunity to surprise everybody. I'm not saying they're not going to be bad. I'm just saying they're going to have a surprise factor.
So am I saving this then, guys? Are we all sorted?
We are going to record this we're going to look back at this, at the end, as Alexei says, and then we'll see how badly we've done and how well we've done. In the end, we'll determine if we've satisfied our football knowledge, and if we haven't, they can lynch us in football or in the history book, wherever, if they wanted to. Who knows?
So
Who knows?
Robbie, have a little scroll. So this is what we predicted. Obviously, France winning that group, and then they're the third place qualifiers. And then, we had Belgium beating Germany, Italy beating Belgium, France beating Italy. And obviously, Portugal's route to the final was beating England, Spain, and Denmark. And Scotland did make it to the quarterfinals because somehow coming third favours teams in this tournament, which makes no sense. But they got Holland, and they overcame Holland and their fraud of a manager. But they did lose 15-0 to Denmark, which was a sour note to leave the tournament on, obviously. But, that will be it for today. Obviously, it's been a long one, but there was lots to talk about. The Euros does start tomorrow at 8 o'clock. Obviously, let us know your predictions. Get involved in the Fantasy League as well. We've all got our teams ready now. I finally got mine sorted. Stay tuned.
Just get up the fantasy code, guys. If you haven't already, it'd be great if you could join. I mean, we've got a decent number of people involved. Where did I find the code? Actually,
That'll be at the front.
I've been here. Maybe not.
Right, we'll put out a tweet of the code.
Once Robbie finds it,
we'll put out a tweet of the code.
I'll find it somewhere.
We will find the code. But obviously, thanks to everyone who watched. Obviously, let us know who you think is going to win the Euros, and most importantly of all, enjoy the tournament, whoever you're supporting. Obviously, we had some Macedonia fans in today in the chat. We've had obviously England fans contributing, like Dan and Connor. We have a Scotland fan in here with Robbie. Obviously, it's interesting hearing who everyone's supporting. But most of all, I think we've just got to enjoy it because it's been a bit of a difficult year, to say the least. But at least we've got some football we can enjoy for the next few months. And as long as we don't play Portugal, football's coming home.